This past Sunday, we took a deeper look into the book of Mark, and we highlighted passages from chapter 8 and chapter 14, and we even saw a really cool connection to the book of Daniel in the Old Testament. Pastor Chad started us off with the first question: who do you say Jesus is? We saw that the disciples were faced with this question by Jesus himself, as he asked them, "Who do you say I am?" Talk about a nail biter. This is the ultimate question by the ultimate Jesus. Pastor Chad explained the fact that proximity makes people look like one another, right? And he used the example of dogs and owners kind of looking like each other over time. And I have seen this myself when I was leading a team of missionaries in the 1040 window. We met annually for a debrief with our leadership team. And as we were there, we had developed all of these inside jokes and we had similar mannerisms. And I'll never forget, as we left the room that day, my mentor leaned over to me and he whispered, he gave me a little wink, and he said, "They have your flavor." And that was such a compliment. Proximity leads to similarity, and if someone is following after a leader or a mentor, they tend to take on a lot of the habits that they're seeing every day. And so that was Jesus's hope. He knew that, and he invited them in close so that over time, by doing close life with him and living in close proximity with him, they might pick up his flavor. So picture it, because Jesus is right there before them asking, giving them a clear picture. So this is a turning point for them. They are well versed in the scriptures. They were students of the word, and so they knew the book of Daniel. They knew the prophecies of the coming Messiah, and now they're seeing all of these things play out. And they can choose to acknowledge what they're seeing and take a chance and take a leap of faith and claim that he is who they believe him to be, who they might be afraid to acknowledge he is. Or they can ignore this possibility, or they could collapse under the pressure and pretend to be ignorant. This isn't a safe Jesus. This is a life and death situation, and this is a decision that is everything. So how they answered this question and how we answer this question, this determines the level of allegiance to God. And that as we're reading this, we have to ask ourselves the same questions. Where does our allegiance fall? So Peter's declaration is a very revealing one. He isn't just stating Jesus' name, like, you are the Christ, you're Jesus Christ. He's actually referring to who he is. Christ, meaning Messiah, the anointed one who was set apart for a great redemptive work as a prophet and a priest and a king of his people. And so he gives an incredible answer, and Jesus responds in a very strange way. He says, after finally getting them to vocalize who he is, he charges them to tell no one about him. And as we learned about yesterday, it's not that Jesus doesn't want the whole world to know who he is and why he has come. I mean, he has come for us after all, but it must be done in the right timing for his ultimate goal, for his ultimate plan. And so he's preparing them to anticipate his appearing and to wait on him, just like he does for us today. This brings us to the second question of the day. Who does Jesus, or God, say he is? And as you read through the book of Mark, when people address Jesus as Messiah and Christ and King, you also see Jesus constantly redirecting them and calling himself something different. Almost as if he's saying, can I show you a picture of who I really am? And so he calls himself the Son of Man. So what does this phrase mean exactly, the Son of Man? This is actually a powerful picture from the Old Testament that would have alerted the people immediately to his power and authority. So they would have known exactly what Jesus meant by the phrase Son of Man because of its occurrence in the book of Daniel. So specifically in Daniel chapter 7, we see that Daniel has a dream of a heavenly throne room. And he sees God, and beside him there's an empty seat for one like him, referred to as the Son of Man. And we see this Son of Man given everlasting dominion that will not pass away. We see him victorious and reigning and magnificent and all of these things. And so this was the picture that the Jews had of the Son of Man. They had this idea of a warrior, a judge who was ready to deliver justice. And so a lot of time had passed between the time that Daniel was written and now. And suddenly there is a man that comes out of nowhere, and he's doing incredible things, and he's claiming to be this very Son of Man. So they are ready for the man who will beat up the beasts and ride the clouds and deliver them from the oppression that they were facing in Roman occupation. But this Jesus person is saying that instead of doing any of that, he's going to be rejected and beaten, and he's going to die. So Peter hears this, and he pulls Jesus aside, and he rebukes him, and he's disapproving of what Jesus is saying, insisting that he is wrong because it is nothing like he understood the Son of Man to be. It's like, Jesus, you've got this backwards. Like, you've come to deliver us and to renew our authority and to deliver justice to those who do not believe. And church family, like, we want the same thing that the first century Jews did, don't we? Like, we want Jesus to come down right now and to just smack our enemies around and elevate us back to our rightful place. But Jesus has always taught an upside down kingdom mentality. So Jesus' identity and authority in our lives is dependent upon our mindset, right? We've put this idea of who he is out there, and we want that to be true, but we must change our mindsets in order to better reflect who he truly says he is. So where is your mindset? Our thoughts reveal our hearts. So really take a survey of what you spend your time thinking about and ask yourself, who is ruling your life right now, right? Is it the Lord? Is it money? Is it worry? Is it a person? Take an assessment and pray earnestly when you're ready. Jesus, I want your kingdom to come, and I want your will to be done. Not mine, but yours. So to finish off this summary video, I want to just read from Mark chapter 8, and we're going to read from verses 34 all the way down to 38, where he calls himself the Son of Man again. He summoned the crowd with his disciples and said to them, "If anyone wishes to come after me, he must deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whoever wishes to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake and the gospel's will save it. For what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and forfeit his soul? For what will a man give in exchange for his soul? For whoever is ashamed of me and my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, the Son of Man will also be ashamed of him when he comes in the glory of his Father with the holy angels." So let us deny ourselves. Let us fix our eyes on his will, his plan, and his kingdom come on this earth as it is in heaven.